When Danny's granddad died, Danny cried. And Danny's gran cried too. A week later, when he went to visit her, she was sorting through his granddad's clothes. There was the old brown jumper Danny's granddad wore whenever they played football. There was the faded brown cap he wore the time he showed Danny how to hammer bits of wood into a birdhouse. And there were his big brown boots, laces adrift, that Danny had stepped into and stepped onto and skipped beside and scuffed. But the jumper was empty, and the cap and the brown boots too, and that made Danny sad. "I really miss Granddad," said Danny. "I miss him too," said Gran. "But we'll see him again. Jesus promised." "How?" asked Danny. "Where? When?" "I'm going away for a while," she said. "But when I come back, I'll show you." A week went by, then two. It felt like forever to Danny. And when at last he went to visit his gran again, the clothes were gone. Instead, draped over the table, there was a picture. A picture made of cloth. "It's called a tapestry," Danny's gran explained. "I made it while I was away." "I like it," said Danny. "It's pretty." There on the tapestry was the back of a house that looked a lot like his gran's, and a garden, and a shed, and lots of people. "Look," said Danny, pointing. "That's me, kicking the ball." "It's all of us," his gran smiled. "Our whole family. And your granddad, of course, building that birdhouse. I put in some other people too, like the postman, and the lollipop lady, and Mrs. Martin down at the sweet shop. Oh, and Jesus. I thought he should be there too. I didn't know what to make him look like, but I thought he'd be the one with the picnic basket." Danny ran his hand gently over the tapestry. It was made of all sorts of cloth, different shapes and shades and sizes. But what caught his attention were the trees. The leaves were shiny and new, but the trunks were woven out of old brown wool. "That's Granddad's jumper," said Danny. He looked more closely. There on the roof of the shed were patches of his granddad's faded brown cap, and there were bits of black shoelace tracing the shape of the clouds. "You asked me when we'd see Granddad again," said Gran. "I made the tapestry to help you understand. And as best as I can explain it, it's something like this. Your Granddad is with Jesus, Danny, waiting for us in a beautiful place. But one day, Danny, God is going to make this world of ours all over again, just like he did for Jesus when he brought him back from the dead. He's going to use lots of shiny new things to make his new world. But I think he's going to use what's old and familiar as well. All that we have loved and cherished. The smell and the shape and the feel of it. I think he is going to weave the best bits of what we have done into his tapestry. The arms of the jumpers that held our children, the caps we wore, and the laces we tied when we took their hands and walked with them through the woods. You will see your Granddad again, Danny. He will be old and new, all at the same time, but you will know him. And you will kick balls and build birdhouses and so much more. And we will all live in God's new world and share in God's great picnic forever. Then she took his hand and she cried. And Danny cried too. But it was a different kind of crying altogether.